Man, I love that video. Rich, you're up. I think people only see you, my man. You want to take the introduction there?
How we doing, guys? Hope everybody's well. Welcome to the first of our pit lane power hours. And tonight is going to be a sneak peek at what's going on, what we've been up to, what's coming, and some exciting times. We've had a couple of tech glitches. In particular, I'm controlling the Hangout tonight on an entirely new setup. So if anything goes wrong, I'm the man to be lynched. And I'm going to try and pass you back over to Big, so bear with. Right, Big Man, you should be able to go now.
Awesome. And again, if it doesn't work and you only hear my voice, we have no one to blame but Rich. Listen, we want to thank you guys. Rich, maybe if you want to basically click on my picture, make sure that it does come up so we do this intro. Um, Everyone, we are excited. We put together a small video that we've been sharing with you all about the Boss XL supercharged sales loop system. And the reason we're so excited about it is this is a system that we put together for you out there, for many of you that already have parts. So it's almost like going into your garage where you have all these parts laying around, and we're going to have put it together into one badass muscle car of make money online offers. And so what we're going to talk about today on the first ever Boss XL Pit Lane Power Hour is we're going to tease you a little bit. We're going to share parts of the funnel. We're going to share some lead capture pages, but mostly we're going to spend time today talking about how we came up with the concept, what parts are in it, how we're going to put it together, and what it's going to look like when we release it on Christmas in a couple of weeks from now. Now, what I'm going to do is, if you haven't already, and join the group. We're going to pop in a link for the Facebook group so that you can join in anticipation of the launch that happens on Christmas Day. But before I do that, you know, one of the things that Rich didn't do, maybe he wasn't used to doing these types of shows and hangouts, is he didn't introduce himself. So let me do that, and then I'll also introduce our other partner who's working with us on this, and let you guys hear from them for a couple of minutes about how we came together with this concept of Boss XL and this supercharged sales loop system funnel. So first and foremost, since Rich screwed everything up, I'm going to introduce Dean Jaggs, let him come out and talk to you for a few minutes about his past experience and what he's hoping to have everyone out there get out of this system we're putting together. So Dean, you want to come on and introduce yourself? Don't do like Rich there. Actually introduce yourself. Give people a little bit of a background about where you came from, where you are now, and what you're hoping to have everyone get out of this program and system we put together, my man.
Awesome, thanks, Big. I hope you guys can all see me okay.
If not,
Okay,
Rich can click on you.
Rich can click on me.
We're all
Awesome,
good.
dude.
We're all good.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead, Dean, my man.
Now that Rich has clicked on me, I'd like to introduce myself. My name's Dean Jaggs. Those of you who know me, you know some people call me Jaggsy, but you can all call me that. That's what I let my friends call me, and we're all friends here. So to give you a bit of background on myself, I come from an IT background. I'm a technical engineer, and I hadn't really got any information on internet marketing or online marketing at all. And I got started about a year and a half ago now. And like most people, the first few months were inevitably painful because I didn't have the knowledge and the skill set that sometimes required. And I found my way into another program where I got to meet people like Big, like Rich, and built up my skill set and learning that program inside out. And that allowed me to become like a resource for people to understand what they needed to do, because I hate to see people struggle in anything. And people like Big and Rich and myself, we're all of the same sort of mindset in that respect. We all want to help people. So inevitably, when you have people of that same mentality, you end up coming together in one way, shape, or form. So me and Rich initially got together with a different system, and we helped quite a lot of people have some success there. Due to certain programs letting us down, we had to obviously change our strategy slightly, which unfortunately in this online world that we reside in, it happens. You know, it's part of online life as such. But we always try to help people in different ways, and the way we train people and educate people. And Biggs obviously is the same sort of type of character who's been educating people for a long time and made incredible success for people and himself. So when he came to us to work with us, it's a no-brainer. You know, you got 3 guys that really want to help you succeed in the next year or less, and that's why here we are. So that's the basic concept of why this started to happen, because we know that there's so many people out there with different programs, and maybe they haven't got the right help or the right sponsorship and the right level of training, and they're just struggling to get there. And I think sometimes, obviously, part of that is you have to take accountability for yourself, of course, but sometimes you just need someone to guide you a little bit of the way. And sometimes you find that you're not actually that far off from where you needed to be. You just needed a little nudge. And we're here to give you that nudge. Big may refer to it as a kick up the arse, but you know, that's what it is. So we're here to make sure you succeed and push you through and guide you through, because you can't always do it on your own. You need some help. Even I need help. So that's where we are. Big, I can't hear you, man.
One of the things that that we're going to keep reminding people in this system, and when we really start and roll out this funnel, the Pit Lane Power Hour is really going to be an exciting show, because not only are we going to be talking about the funnel each week and the proof progress results that we're seeing, and we wanted people to start inviting other people, your team members, people that are interested in working with you inside the system, but we're also, for the first time, going to debut a brand new Money Hammer just for the Boss XL supercharged sales loop system. And those out there, if you followed me, you know that one of the things I love about doing this shows is that we'll eventually be bringing on members inside the system to talk about the success they're having. And I love to have fun with people. And the Money Hammer just pounds home the fact that if you have a system that works well, no matter where you start from, you're going to start making money in that system. But a big part of the system is not all just hype and hitting people with the Money Hammer. It's really making sure that the system has people that, one, are using the system themselves, which we are, okay? And the other is that if you're going to create a system, you also need to create a backup training system to help people get the most out of that. And one of the reasons that I really felt strongly about working directly with Rich, and I'm going to have him come out and introduce himself properly, was that people like myself can have tremendous success because internally, I'm used to pushing myself and building businesses and building systems and finding success. Do they all work out? Absolutely not. As Jaggs talked about, some of the programs within the systems that we've built in the past have kind of let us down, but that did not stop my success. But what I found was that I really needed to work with someone that could help people starting at a different level achieve success also. And we went through and we figured out that in many cases, a lot of people out there were in a lot of the same programs that they had gotten talked into by some of the other so-called gurus or big leaders, when in fact those gurus or leaders were nothing more than commission junkies that like to jump from one program to another, and people followed because they thought they were going to get that help and training and all, and they didn't. But many of those programs that are going to be in this system are very good. It's just that people weren't taught how to take and get the most out of them like I do. And I felt that I needed people like Jaggsy and especially like my man Rich, who really spent an inordinate amount of time on the training on the backside. And I was impressed by a system they put together a couple of cycles ago. As Jaggsy said, a couple of things fell through, but that didn't bother me about the programs that fell through. What impressed me was the follow-up on the backside, the training, and that's what was missing. So I came to Rich and I said, I have an idea for you. Okay, I have ways that we put together marketing systems and all in the past that are always very successful. But the truth is, we don't need another marketing system with another brand new product with another, sign me up to this and another shiny object. There are plenty of people out there that have been orphaned by these so-called leaders or gurus who essentially move on very quickly after 2 or 3 months, and people are kind of left in the lurch. And they're lost. And we talked about being kind of like picking up the survivors of the Titanic, pulling them on board and saying, listen, there's nothing wrong with that program you're in. You just have to learn how to put it into and package it into a system and deliver a multi-income stream system to people. And we all agreed that that was something that was needed. But we also agreed on one thing, that the reason that people like myself have had success building systems is one word, and that one word is traffic. And so we decided to pull this together into a sales loop system, a supercharged sales loop system that is all about one thing, traffic. And when you understand that and you're able to master traffic into a multi-income funnel system like this, you're going to see success. But success doesn't come just by getting people in the front door. Success comes from stopping people and the attrition out the back door. And the reason that people can build the type of income that I've done in the programs that we're going to show you today is because we stay in the system or the program. And that's why I felt very strongly talking with Rich. I'm going to come have him come on and talk about it, because that was the one main thing that we all agreed was missing out there, is stopping the attrition, not from one program, but from an entire marketing system, and teaching people how to stay the course. And I think there's probably no one better that I saw on a small scale, which we're now looking to do it on a much larger scale, than Rich Green. So Rich, you can come out now and do an official presentation of who you are, your background, and how we kind of brought this together, my man.
No problem, buddy. That's one hell of an intro, though. Christ, cheers. So hopefully everybody can see me now. I shouldn't have ballsed that bit up. So yeah, it's Big's on the money, absolutely on the money. We've had some great conversations in a kind of build-up towards this. But just going back before that, so there is a bit of an intro to me, so you know where we're coming from. I've been in and out of this game for some time, failed massively online for a number of years, and did offline marketing, network marketing, old school belly-to-belly marketing, and had reasonable success in varying companies. Online, struggled, never made more than $25 in around 5 years, which was pretty poor, until I got introduced to an opportunity purely by chance, and that's the gig where ultimately I met these guys. Bumped into Jaggs purely through watching a YouTube video that he did. Really appreciated what he'd done and reached out to him and asked if I could actually do a blog about his YouTube video. So that's how we got together in first instance. Started to do really well in the business that I got introduced to online, and that particular model is going to fit within this system. So you'll hear more about that in a minute. But off the back of my success in that business, I was invited to be a guest on a power hour just like this, almost 12 months ago to the week, to be fair, big man. So it's almost a year since me and Big first had any contact. And he spoke earlier about us having guests on these power hour hangouts. And that's exactly what I did. And off the back of that event, I kind of really started to multiply my income, and I'd gone from zero to what was seen as hero. I think I'd earned about 25 grand at that point in a short space of time. Flew out to Vegas to really spend some quality time with Big and many others, and that's where the penny really dropped. I'd formulated an idea in my mind years earlier, but didn't know how to piece it together. Spending a weekend with Big and a couple of other key influential people, everything fell into place. And off the back of that weekend, that's when I started to piece together the original Boss X and linked up with Jaggs. And we built a system which was, whereas Big was talking earlier about this loop, well, what Boss X was kind of a system that flowed. It didn't quite come back round, and that's where we're taking this baby. So it's kind of the missing piece, really. And so the original Boss X, great, took me from naught to almost a six-figure income in around 10 months. And we want to start to duplicate that success with other people. We had a few six-figure earners off the back of that strategy, and yeah, there were some great results came from it, and that strategy, but looping back around is just going to do phenomenal things within this. Just one thing I do want to point out, though, because Big made a big play for the fact that this is for want of a better word, the orphans, the people who've kind of been joined things like we all do, you know, especially as you start to build success, you join other things because you've got the headspace to, or because you've got the budget to. So you grow your portfolio. Unfortunately, some people join other things through desperation or necessity to earn, but for whatever reason, people have joined other things, and so we've created this around those more impressive other things. But that's not all this system's for. It's not just about the orphans. We've got to come up with a better word for them than that, really. But it's not just about those guys. The chances are you guys watching this are in some of the programs that are fundamentally part of this system. But this is going to be pieced together in such a way that it's not aimed only at people in this system. This is going to pick up anybody who's wanting to earn an income, especially in a big way online throughout 2017. So if you're in some of these programs, but you're thinking, well, if it's only aimed at people in the program, is it going to dry up? Is it going to get saturated? Firstly, it won't. But secondly, it's more diverse than that. And it is going to be aimed at a much wider market than just those guys. So it's exciting times. There's some great things to come, guys, I'm telling you. So yeah, that's me, Rich KC, the keyboard capitalist, and I'm going to pass you back over to our boy Big. He's still muted, dude.
Rich, thank you for that. It's never only about the orphans. The reason I brought that up is so many people probably have one or two parts already lying around in their garage, and we're about to show them how to package that and make a supercharged sales loop system. And really, it's because so many people out there have a system, but they don't have a complete marketing system that loops back on itself. And that's exactly what many people that I talk to are missing. They keep saying, Big, how do you do it? How are you crushing it in that offer, that offer, that offer? And it really comes down to leadership training, taking ownership of driving traffic into a system that feeds onto itself over and over and over. And what I've seen time and time again in working individually with people, I'll go in and the first thing that pops up is, one, they're consistently not focusing on traffic. And really it comes down to it. If you're going to pick up the money hammer and you're going to hit people with the money hammer, you're going to need to consistently have eyeballs on your offers. It's that simple. You can have the most amazing offer. You can have the most amazing billboard giving away all the most amazing things. But if it's sitting in the middle of a desert, it doesn't have the same impact than if it's sitting in the middle of Times Square where there are millions of people passing by it every single day. And that's the attitude that you're going to have in order to have success. Now, Rich touched on it. This system is all focused on a sales loop. Driving people into the system, whether they have the existing parts or not, showing them how those parts are congruent or tiered or step into each other, and looping them back into traffic sources that will, guess what, find them people that are going to be filtered into the system. Again, once the system filters them, it will show them how they can also then turn around and drive traffic into the system. So it is a complete supercharged sales loop system. It is Boss XL because we are taking it to the next level. What everyone out there does in most normal systems is they will have a lead capture page that goes to a sales page or a landing page and then drives them straight to a corporate sign up page, and that's it. And on the back end, what do? They have a sign up, they have another sale, but they're losing sight of the long-term value of that client. And the long-term value of that client is substantially more if in the beginning you look at it in the way that it should be. And I've always said this to people I work with directly, okay? There are 5 things 5 things that you need to focus on in a system. 5 things in a system if you're going to have continued success, if you're going to build a true residual income. And I think that's what people are missing. And that's what I've always focused on in any of my businesses. I'm not worried about big commissions up front. I'm worried about residual dollars. And that's exactly what Jaggsy and Rich are also focused on now. It's residual dollars. What is the long-term value of someone in a system if you can help them understand how to replicate and duplicate that system? And it really comes down to 5 things. 1, you need traffic. If you're not focused on traffic as your number 1 thing, you're never going to have continuous success. Never. Okay, I know plenty of people. Go ahead, Rich.
And just jumping in on that point, on my intro, I mentioned I'd been in and out of this world for a lot of years. And a good friend and mentor of mine said something about this earlier on today. And I was in some of the best opportunities that were around at the time. And some of them are still around. Some of them have made millionaires, made very successful people, yet I failed in those businesses. And when I look back, it's almost farcical, because all that we were told to do was drive traffic to the offer. But me being who I was at the time, thinking I knew better, I thought there was a better way. I thought, are they maybe trying to get more money out of my pocket? Really, I don't need to spend money on traffic. That's just them trying to make money. And I avoided it. And for all those years, didn't spend anything on traffic, didn't earn anything to spend on traffic, and as a result, made next to nothing. People far less educated than me, far less driven than me, had far greater success than me just by following that number 1, let alone the other 4 that's coming. Number 1.
Absolutely. And again, it's not rocket science, but these are the 5 things. The number 1 is traffic. No matter what business you're in, whether you're selling Kool-Aid or condoms, you need to have eyeballs on your offer. It's that simple. But a lot of you out there are saying, but Big, Rich, Jaggsy, I don't know anything about traffic. That's the beauty of this system. We're going to show you all about traffic. We're going to show you how to get it. We're going to show you how to leverage it. But we're going to basically pound home the fact that traffic is the number 1 thing you should focus on. And once you understand that and you start to master that, it doesn't matter what system you choose to work on in the future. But what this system is going to teach you is that loop, is focusing on traffic. The second thing that you're going to need to understand, the most important, is you need a funnel. So many people out there have nothing. They take people straight to a corporate landing page, and you're giving people the opportunity to make choices. Think about going into a grocery store with all the aisles filled with products all over the place. People usually, guess what, are all over the place. They can't make a choice. And especially if you're a guy like us, you leave because, oh, I don't know what to buy. Oh, my wife's going to yell at me if I get the wrong thing. All right. So what we're saying in a system like this, in any system that's successful, I've learned that you need a funnel that directs people exactly where you want them to go. So number 1, traffic. Number 2, a funnel, a very specific funnel. Number 3, what you need is a filter. All right, a filter. Many people out there never take people through a filter to pre-qualify them on whether or not that system is for them. The system that we put together, why it has a filter, is exactly that. If the person is not interested in building a system, go ahead, Rich, it's going to completely filter people out. Go ahead, Rich.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. And people are scared of losing people. And the whole point of a filter is that you do lose people, because otherwise you're just wasting your time. There's no point taking a girl with a Primark budget into a Louis Vuitton shop, or vice versa. There's a market for every person. And when you know what your market is, then that filter is absolutely vital, because you only want the right people looking at the right things.
And again, once you have a filter, people already know what to expect going into it. It's not a surprise on the back end. You're not apologetic for telling them what the price is, as long as that filter works the way it works. Fourth, in a system like this, and why this system is going to be successful for you if you buy in and you follow the system, if you follow the system and you loop back into the system, the fourth is follow-up. You have to have a follow-up system. You hear people talk about it all the time. The money is in the list. You've got to build an email list. Well, guess what? A lot of people do. But we're going to teach you how to follow up with that list. We're going to teach you how to close the gap, okay, between that cold traffic and making them a warm market. Okay, we're going to teach you. One of those is obviously creating that Facebook group to get people in, to get them interacting, but also teach you how to reach out and find those people that have tapped into your email list on things like Facebook and Instagram and things like that. All of that is going to close that gap, all right, so that you're looking at the long-term value of that client, not just the one sale, all right? And that's why people inside a system like this, or like myself, who built multi-systems like this, it works. And we're going to teach you how to do that. Again, it's not rocket science. So far you have 1, traffic. You have 2, that you have a funnel. 3, that you have a filter. And 4, follow-up, which is very key. But one of the most important, besides traffic is the most important. The final one is extremely important, and that is that you have a tiered program that's congruent. And here's what many of you are trying to do out there and not finding success. You're trying to sell high ticket items without kind of leading that person down the path. And the way that you have success is through a congruent, tiered program. You allow people to buy in emotionally at higher and higher levels, but you don't just do it with any program or system. You do it so they're tiered and tied together so they make sense, which is exactly why this system is called a supercharged sales loop system, because every part of it is in there for a very particular reason. And we're going to talk about the parts of it so that you understand why they were put together the way they were. So one of the things that Rich touched on was this was not only about orphans. That's absolutely true. What I love is that a bulk of people we already work with have many of these programs. But the beautiful thing is, even if you're coming in as a brand new newbie, you're going to start to understand why the system works so well because of the way it's put together in these tiered congruent programs that will lead you and the people you bring into the system down that path and loop them back so that they can start to see immediate success also. And that's the key. Once you start to have proof, progress, results, what changes? Mindset. Then it clicks. Then you start to understand, oh, I understand what Rich and Jaggs and Big are talking about in driving this traffic, but I understand why they're talking about driving traffic the way that they're talking about it. I understand why that program is first. I understand why that program is third. I understand why I have to have this system set up the way it is. Now, we are already very aware that there are going to be a number of people out there who are going to go off, especially if it's their first time at the rodeo, and think that, guess what? I've got a better way of doing it, or a cheaper way of doing it, or a quicker way of doing it. Best of luck to you. All I can say is I've seen many, many people, and Rich just admitted, since I came in, I'm a fair newbie in this network marketing and internet marketing, but I approached it the same way I built any successful business, through those 5 situations that I talked about. And if you follow those 5 things, if you start to understand why it has to be a sales loop system, you're going to have success also. Asking is, we're going to share bits and pieces of what we're working on. We're extremely excited about it. But the bottom line is, you need to wrap your head around those 5 points that I made, but you also need to be coachable, okay? And you need to stick to the system. And if there's one thing that Jaggsy and Rich have learned in the recent past, it's sticking to the system, right, Jaggsy?
Yeah, sorry, man. I've got some few technical issues there. Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, consistency is key, and you hear that in a lot of things. And one thing I want to touch on there is, as Big said, is that you have to have all the relevant parts, and you may go off and you may think you have a better way, but one thing that I would say on that is that you always hear all the time, so many people mention the whole, if you want success, follow people with success. And yeah, that is true. but you can also learn equally as many lessons from people that have screwed up. And as Rich will say, Rich did 5 years, what, $25? You know, he was failing. I did 6, 7 months, didn't get one sign up, was spending my own money to keep in the business. I was failing. And the thing that kept us going was that knowing that there is a better way, and that consistency and persisting and carrying on. And for those of you that have been in those programs in the past, and you may think they were no good or they didn't work for you, you just didn't have the right guidance. And we're here, so that's okay. You know, this is not a, you did it wrong. There is no doing it wrong. It's just what you didn't do. And I've tried to do things different ways. I've tried to be the big I know it all, and I'll hold my hands up to that. I'll say I tried to say I can do it better. I was in the same boat that Big talks about, and that many of you are probably sitting in right now saying I can do this a better way. And I tried to do what we call organic marketing, which is a lot of free marketing, your YouTube, your Facebook posts. I've done all that, and you know, find I'll earn half as much as someone who doesn't do it and does it the right way, which is with traffic. So believe me, and believe Big when we tell you that if you follow the system or follow the formula, as I always say, you're going to have a good, clear path as what you need to do. So don't think of it as doing it wrong. You've just been doing it differently. Now we're going to show you the right way. Okay, and I just wanted to touch on that. So keep consistent and listen to what we show you. Try to follow the steps, and you're not going to go wrong. It's going to be a big year.
Absolutely, buddy. Absolutely. This is not just about giving people a system for them to kind of plug in and go and automate and forget about. Yeah, there's an element of that to it. But what I want to see off the back of this is people learning, is people putting themselves in a position where, God forbid, programs change, that kind of thing that happens online. But instead of people being kind of left in the lurch, as they have been in the past, you know, people using our previous system builds, Big's previous system builds, other people's previous system builds, and then programs change and the masses kind of floundering about, wondering what do we do next, whose system can we join next. Having people in a position where they know what, right, I've got this business opportunity, what do I do next to make that opportunity work? And so those 5 things that Big talks about puts you in exactly that position. We've created this so that you've got something, and so that you've got something that you can run with, run hard with, and throw a lot of traffic at and make a lot of money. But if anything changes, or if your interests change, you'll have the knowledge and the skill set to take that wherever you need to take it. And that is a powerful, powerful position to be in. Far more powerful than I was in my first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years.
Big, unmute yourself, dude.
Still on mute, fella.
You're still muted, dude.
Still muted, buddy. Beautiful.
Yeah, what happens sometimes is if you guys go to mute me and I try to unmute myself, but I try to do it out of respect so that you guys can, because every little noise picks up and it toggles back and forth. So one of the main things that we're going to get across to everyone is we will tell you that you will have success in this system, but you'll have success because we're going to show you a strategy. See, and here's the difference between a strategy-oriented training and marketing system and tactics. Most people out there who are unsuccessful have tactics, and they don't have strategies for success. So on the back end of this, not only are we going to have the system that's working for you as long as you plug in and you follow the system, we're going to also have training and follow-up on the back end, not only for you, but to help you position you for those people that you bring in. Because one of the main things that we've seen with a lot of other gurus out there is they probably have systems that are much more slick about bringing people in, much more slick about upselling them to higher ticket items. But where they lose people is on the back end, because you don't get to interact with those gurus. Guess what? They don't have time. They're too busy. And that's the difference in the way that I have always approached, and I've seen Rich and Jaggsy approach it also, is that we're looking at that relationship with you. And if you start to understand that and you approach it the same way, that relationship that you have with those people you bring in, you're going to find that, guess what? that long-term value of that client becomes higher. You start to, again, tap into a residual income instead of just one-off sales. Now, one of the great things about this system also is we're going to teach you all about traffic. We're going to teach you different ways to go about getting it, but we're going to be very upfront to say the system is all about looping back on itself to continuously pay, there's the key word, for traffic to the system itself. We're going to teach you how to take money from the system and put it back into the system. Because if you've had numerous successful small businesses like I have, you're going to have to understand one thing. You're never going to build a business that's only going to pay you if you never put any back into your business. And the main reason that so many people fail that I see in internet marketing is they're looking for that to be an immediate income replacement. And it's not. If you're not taking a minimum of 25 to 40% of what you earn, especially in the first 6 months, and put back into your business or your system, you are going to fail. You are going to fail because you are not going to get enough eyeballs on your offer. And the reason I know that is, listen, you guys know the troubles I've had with Facebook with my profiles getting shut down left and right. But instead of that stopping me, my income continues to go up. Why is that? Am I only relying on Facebook? I rely on Facebook to continue to make that connection, but I don't rely on it strictly for the leads. That's where paid traffic comes in. That's why this system is going to be so powerful for you. Go ahead, Rich.
And that's a really interesting point, because obviously Jaggs is aware of this, and a lot of my guys are aware of this, but the business that I first got involved in, I built that without Facebook. I had various things, relationships, blah, 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 all sorts of personal issues. And so for a big chunk of time, I think it was a good year or two almost, I was a ghost on social media. And so I built that almost six-figure income without even using Facebook. Yet you still see people who are driving that as the only source, spamming their wall. There's far more to driving traffic than just throwing your links onto your Facebook wall and hoping that some people are going to join it. So the things that you're going to be taught here are going to take you to a whole other level that you've not experienced before.
And again, it's not rocket science, Rich. You know that. When we go over these things and we continue to pound home that fact, it's about having you understand, let the system work. Feed the system, and it will reward you handsomely on the back end. But you cannot. It's just like if you have this prize milk cow, all right, and you milk it every single day, no matter what, never give it a break, you're constantly taking from it. Guess what? That cow's going to basically end up saying, screw you, I'm out of here, or not give any milk.
Yeah.
So they always talk about giving it a break. It's the same thing here. If you're not putting back into your system or your business, it's going to stop giving at some point, and that's what I've seen most of the time. So let's do this. You guys have been on with us for about 40 minutes. We appreciate that. We wanted to give you some understanding, some real thought, and see how we kind of thought about pulling this together. But let's go ahead and share with you guys some of the things, some behind the scenes things that we've been working on. But before we do that, I want to go right into some proof progress results, because one of the things is, if you're watching this and you've been with us in some systems before, you know we've had some success. But if you haven't, and this is your first time being introduced to us, one of the things I've always said to people is, if you're going to talk to shit, show me what you got. And so I've always been one of those people, as well as Rich, and we're all starting from different places, okay? My showing you my results, Rich showing you his, etc., is not to brag. It's just simply to say what's possible. But we all started from the same place, and that was zero. Starting line, zero. And we're just showing you these to show you what's possible. And again, how powerful each of these programs can be by themselves, but when you start to combine them, because they work so well together, how much more powerful they can be. So what we wanted to do was we wanted to outline for you exactly which programs are in the Boss XL Supercharged Sales Loop system. I'm going to basically open up our back office and show you so that you can see that we have proof progress results. And then we're going to come back and actually share bits and pieces of the funnel that we're currently working on. Again, it's still 2.5, 3 weeks away, okay? But we've done a bunch of stuff. We've trashed a bunch of stuff also. Stuff that we worked on which, just didn't have the right feel, and basically threw it away and started over. But we're extremely pleased about the path that we're now taking on this, because it is coming out fantastic. So the first thing that we wanted to do was to share with you what's in the program, what's in the funnel and system itself. And I'll let Rich talk about that, because I think the first thing we have to do is talk about how we're actually building the system. And whenever you build a system, you need a funnel builder. And there are plenty out there. There are plenty out there, from Power Lead System to ClickFunnels to the list goes on. But we chose a particular funnel building system for 2 reasons. One, it's cutting edge. Okay, we believe that these guys that we work with directly, the owners, are really looking at kind of staying in front of the curve on the way that funnels and systems can be built, but also the ability to market that system by itself as an affiliate offer. But the most important thing for that is that it is low cost, okay, and easy to use for you. And so I'm going to let Rich walk you through what platform we're building this entire system on. And then both he and I will show you some of the success that we've had in the last 30 days in that system. And we haven't even used it in the way we're going to use it now. So go ahead, Rich, if you want to share that, the name of it, et cetera, et cetera.
No problem, buddy, no problem. I'm just flicking around some of my screens right now. So, yeah, big on the money as usual. And one of the interesting things is he mentioned the other funnel building softwares that are out there. I think, give or take, some pretty much unknown ones. We've used them all. ClickFunnels, Power Lead System, Conversion Pros, blah, 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 blah. And so the decision to use Online Sales Pro, OSP, wasn't made lightly. I still have quite, well, we both still have, and Jaggs have a business with Power Lead System and use some of our old funnel systems through that, and we'll continue to do so. But moving forward, when you're wanting to be cutting edge, when you're wanting to help the people, then you've got to have something that's simple, that looks great, that converts better. There's so many pluses to it, it's ridiculous. Not to mention we've got the years of the ownership as well, which is a massive deal. And they've made some specific changes to their software off the back of conversations that we've had with them that's allowed this system that we're talking about, the Boss XL system, to be built. Without their ears and without these changes, Boss XL couldn't be what it's going to be. And so that's massive when you've got leadership and ownership that's prepared to work on behalf of their members like that. So first and foremost, I'm going to jump in and show you a little bit in the back office, what it's all about, and we'll very briefly touch on the ability to use it as a tool suite. And then I'll talk a little bit about the money, and we'll show some proof progress results, as Big mentioned. I know we said in the first instance that this was going to be a power hour, so we want to try and keep it within that. So let me know, guys, that you're able to see my OSP back office in just a second. Yeah?
Yep, you're good, brother.
Okay, great stuff. So what we've got is a funnel system which is incredibly simple. Now, bearing in mind, before we get into this, I don't want people looking at this and thinking, God, I could never use that, I could never do this, blah, blah, blah. The system, Boss XL, is going to be built for, well, I say it's going to be built. I've pretty much built that for you. And with the videos and the everything that we're doing as a threesome, it's going to be a kind of a plug and go setup. You're going to get really clear training on how to set it up. And once it's set up, it's done. But what we want by making a point of those 5 things that Big mentioned is we want to put you in a position where you can utilize the tools that we're giving you. And so what Online Sales Pro does is it, in the first instance, provides you with a number of funnels for different businesses, some of which you might already be in. So if you've got the budget to be driving traffic at more than one offer, then you may well want to be using some of the stuff that already exists. In addition to that, you've got the stuff that we're going to be building for you. In addition to that, you've got the templates, which are just here, that you can utilize. You simply click on them and you can use all of these templates to drive traffic to whatever opportunities you've got going on. You're a Herbalife distributor? Fantastic. Put together a little landing page and a sales funnel system of your own. You're doing Janice? Crack on, do what you need to do. It's so simple to build funnels within this system that you're going to be blown away by it. But more so than that is the training that comes with it. Big touched on it a little earlier. And the leadership within Online Sales Pro and the training around social media, around traffic attraction, around similarly along the lines of the kind of value system that we're using to build Boss XL, teaching people how to get viewers, how to get eyes looking at your offer. It's so powerful what's inside this system. So you've got a number of pages which are set up already good to go. So if to start off with, all you want to do is promote Online Sales Pro to other network marketers, online marketers, affiliate marketers, to newbies who've not yet got anything to promote and just want to sell Online Sales Pro as a tool suite, all of these are already set up for you. You've got a free demo that you can give away to people. You've got pages built around lifestyle. You've got pages built around family. You've got pages built around network marketing. And so the network marketing one, I'll just pull that up as an example. So we'll stop the video. But this page is set up for you. It's good to go straight away. And you put this page in front of any network marketer, and they're going to join your Online Sales Pro business, or certainly take a closer look at it. They're going to become a lead. And once they're a lead, we're going to show you how to work with them in the strongest possible way to get the maximum value for you and the maximum benefit for them. So there's so much good stuff goes off in the back of here. And this is stuff that doesn't go off in the back of other similar types of businesses, not to mention the support that we get, as I said, from the leadership.
Yeah. And Rich, that is the key thing why we chose this platform, because we want continuous training to be given by each of the programs within the system on one thing. And what thing is that, Rich?
Would that be traffic, buddy?
That would be traffic. And the beautiful thing about each and every one of these programs that are in this system, we talked about congruency, but it's also about, guess what? Training you. And every single program in this system has figured out that the key to success is traffic. And so every part of it will be a continuous training for you. And we're super excited with Online Sales Pro to be building out. And as Rich said, super excited to be working with ownership directly. And the stuff that when we roll our system out, it will be the first time that anyone has put together a super monster multi-income, multi-program funnel that's congruent like this. So yeah, everyone, absolutely. Not just you watching this, but everyone is waiting with bated breath to see what we're coming out with.
I had a three-way with Grady, not a literal three-way, obviously.
Oh, that sounds pretty good there, Rich. Yeah.
I had a conversation with Grady and Joel, the two guys who own Online Sales Pro. Was it last week, the week before? Just before they made the changes that we needed, and talking through exactly how we wanted this to work and what we wanted it to do. They'd never come across anything like this before. They're used to, and they've got some big hitters in that business. And I mean big hitters, people earning 7 figures a year, newbies earning 6 figures a year. And so it's not like they're new to this world of online entrepreneurship, but they've never experienced anything like this. They're used to one program deals. You take a program and you use a sales funnel. But to take an entire portfolio of programs that complement, that work hand in hand, and that are essentially necessary feeders for the overall success of everything. It's a new concept to them. It's old school, to us now. We've done this a number of times, you know, with mine, with Biggs, and with others that we've used. So we know the power of this strategy, and we know how many times over it's already created 6 figures. So to do it in OSP as well, that's exciting.
Absolutely.
And can I just add to that as well?
Yep, go ahead.
I mean, as Big was just saying, that how important the training is, and obviously the one thing that we know is that from various programs and that we've all been involved in the past, you'll see a lot of people asking questions, which is how ironically me and Mitch got together in the first place, because we were primarily the people in that program answering those questions. And we know that you always see the same people asking the same questions again and again and again. And it's because the guidance isn't there. And what we hope for you, all of you, that from using this system and following the training, not just in OSP, but in the other elements which we'll later show you, that you're going to have the answer to those questions. You won't be left struggling, because that's what we're here to do. That is our job, is to guide you. It's not just to sign people up and make a load of commissions. That's obviously awesome in every program you work in, but if you're getting the right training, the value in the long term is far better. And that's what we hope for every single person that comes on board with us and follows our training steps, that you won't be asking those questions anymore. So we're going to help you get there, because that's the most important thing, is actually making sure you have that guidance. That's it.
Absolutely. I mean, one of the great things about each of the programs, Jaggsy, you talked about it. One of the great things is that there's going to be all kinds of training and support inside those programs to begin with. But in addition, we're also going to be providing over and above that. So in OSP, as Rich talked about, just to give you guys an idea, that is a platform that we are building the system on. But in the interim, while you're waiting on this system to be built by us, you can go out, and people who have already come on board with us, or with other people who have come into the group, the Facebook group, have already signed up with Online Sales Pro and are already seeing success getting other people signed up. And the most beautiful thing about that system is they have a 30-day, no questions asked, money back guarantee. So here's your opportunity to go ahead and sign up for Online Sales Pro. Check it out while we're working on this system. And if you're not absolutely blown away, just get your money back. No questions asked. There are no other programs we know of that have that same type of offer, which is why we have no problem telling you, you probably should go ahead and do that, so you start to get a better understanding of OSP, and also start to, guess what, entice people to come into the group and the program underneath you instead of coming in underneath us. We are really trying to help you understand that once you get a person into a program like OSP, it's easier for them to sign up for other parts of the supercharged sales loop system. So we're going to make that push right there. Now, Rich, let's talk about, let's share. Why don't we share just quickly one of the lead capture pages, my man, that we created. There's going to be a total of 7 lead capture pages, correct, Rich? We ended up with 7, right?
Yeah, that's right.
We threw out most of them, but we have 7. We're going to share with you one of the lead capture pages. We're not going to share everything again, guys. We're just going to tease you a little bit here and there. This is really this pit lane power hour and a half is going to be more about showing you the different parts and understand the psychology, the sales psychology behind putting the program together. But we are going to show you things that can be done on each of the systems, and we're also going to show you a little bit of proof of earnings and stuff like that. You know, if Rich doesn't want to show his, I'll show you my earnings just in the last not even 30 days, basically 2.5, 3 weeks. You know, basically $1,000 just from sharing with people Online Sales Pro in anticipation of what we're doing. Again, one of the great things, if you go to check it out, they have a phone app that we think is just fantastic. And we won't get into that this week. Next week, we'll talk more about it, about how that is so fantastic in immediate follow-up.
It's powerful in so many ways, that thing, you know, the attention grabbing in the moment. Well, yeah, talk about it next week. Yeah,
exactly. So Online Sales Pro, like I said, I myself a little bit over $1,000 in 2.5, going on 3 weeks now, since really kind of you know, dialing in, because one of the things that we wanted to do with these systems was to make sure that they could do what we needed to do before I went full boat on it, because we know what a system needs to be powerful. And as Rich said, them working directly with us. It's the first time that it's going to be done this way, and that's why we're excited about it, because we're putting some of these things together. So Rich, why don't we share one of the lead capture pages, my man, and then we'll go right into the other programs that are in this and share those as well.
No worries, buddy. Just stay there 1 second. Let me know that you can see my screen.
And by the way, me saying $1,000 in 2.5, 3 weeks is not to brag. It's just simply to say that it is a powerful system that you can market before we even kick off the system itself.
Yeah, exactly. And Biggs are got a bigger audience than I have. I've done just short of $1,000 in a little over a month. So, but it gives you an idea of what's available. Can you guys see my screen right now?
Yep.
Yeah, beautiful. Okay, so I've pulled up a couple of the capture pages, and they're not the finished article necessarily, but I love the way you're able to build these in OSP. They're just so much sexier than the previous system we were using, don't you think?
They are, again, we like to keep things very simple and hard hitting. And one of the great things that we're excited about with this is it allows us to experiment much more easily than some of the other systems where you have to learn to write code and all these other things. Absolutely. This is just simply, kind of plug and play. So we'll be experimenting quite a bit ourselves before we release. And that's why I said there were originally 12. Now we're down to 7 lead capture pages. And we'll continue to experiment with the things that we'll talk about, experimenting with different headings, different colors, different secondary sales pitches underneath the headline there. So we'll continue. But the beauty of it is it's going to allow us to really, really graphically play around. And there's the ability to have video in the background as well. So we're going to play around with different kind of combinations of that. But we're just giving you an idea that it's extremely easy. And the reason we want to show you this is not only for the system, but for the fact that you could do this for your own as well. Let's say some of you are in different network marketing opportunities, as Rich talked about. You could take the templates and kind of, make them more to your liking. If you're more of a, if you're more of a dark black guy, then go for it. If you're more of a, pinks and purple, go for it. It's entirely up to you. But those are some of the things that we're working on, and I thank you for sharing that, Rich. Not everything, understand, in this system is going to be about muscle cars and all like that. But to start with, we've learned from research that, things like the muscle car of Make Money Online offers, Boss XL, all those connotates speed and strength. And money loves speed. All those things may be cliche in your mind, but they are still attention grabbing and cause people to share their email information. And that's really what we want. That first step is to have that person have a small emotional buy-in by giving their email. The second part, which we're not going to show, we may share next week. We have what's called a bridge sales video, strong call to action on that second part, where I will highlight those 5 things that we talked about tonight. And that's part of that filtering system we talked about. If on that second part, the person doesn't agree with the call to action on those 5 points, then they're not going to push the next button to go to the next. So it's kind of it's not necessarily a double opt-in, but it is a double buy-in. And we're trying to filter out, as Rich said, if those people are like, they're looking for a get rich quick or something like that, then it's going to filter those people out. The second part of the filter obviously is on the back end and the follow-up. So the very first thing they will see after they opt in through that filter, that lander, that bridge sales video, if you will be an overview of the system from Rich, and we'll introduce the sales loop and how it works together. The very first program that's going to be offered in step 1 is, I'll let you talk about it, Rich, is, we think, one of the most underrated. That is so damn simple. Maybe that's why it's underrated and overlooked, right, Rich?
Massively. I seriously, dude, I do not get why this program is not absolutely everywhere. And at the minute, if I remember right, there are less than 3,000 members in this gig.
Less than 3,000, yep.
Less than 3,000 members. Now, there's There's the people who look at that and think, oh, well, 3,000 members, that's no good. And there's those who look at it and go, 3,000 members, come on. And that's what we're looking at it like. There's massive opportunity in this gig, and it's a traffic-based opportunity. Who'd have thought it? The business is leased ad space. It's a cash, low-ticket offer, which has the ability to generate either Bitcoin or cash for you immediately with a really low buy-in. And basically what you're buying is advertising space, solo advertising. It does come with free banner advertising and text advertising, but the product that you're purchasing is a solo ad. If you're not familiar with solo ads, you will be very soon, because we're going to teach you all about that. But essentially, a solo ad is a single email about your solitary offer that goes out to a targeted marketplace. And so you've got the opportunity to email people who've specifically agreed to accept those emails about whatever your offering is. Initially, we're going to teach you how to be sending those emails about Boss Excel, but you've got the chance to email about whatever you wish to. So I know Blythe, Janice, whatever it might be, you can email them about what you want, and it's a $7 startup. So for us guys over in the UK, what's that in real money, Jaggsy? About £6, £5, £6, something like that.
Yeah, probably not even that. Probably not even that.
It's not a lot. So it's a low ticket offer that gives anybody the opportunity to get started. No longer can somebody say, I can't afford it, because even if somebody can't afford it, they can. Everybody can find $5.
Yeah, Rich, let me do this. Let me try to share my screen to give people an idea. All right, you guys tell me if you can see.
Yeah, yep.
All right. So leased ad space, as Rich said, it's really an overlooked monster. It's an overlooked monster. Let me get out of my profile there. I don't want you guys to see all my goody two shoes login info there. So bottom line is, when you log in, they have because again, you're able to send out to everyone. But if we go to how it works, leased ad space is a low cost, what we call a low cost ticket offer, but it's all about traffic. This entire system, as we said, is about traffic. But the commissions have been paid out, again, 231 days. It's less than a year old. Why we love it is it's very simple in what it is. It's very simple in what it is. Make sure you get back to the person that introduced you to this system. If you're going to sign up for any of these programs that we talk about in the system, it's only fair. But leased ad space is just that. It's a lifetime solo. And depending on the packages that you buy, and there are different packages, okay, that start as $7, gives you a number of banner ad impressions, text ads, solo emails, one every 28 days to everyone in the system. Now, earlier Rich said 3,000 people. Why would someone like me or Rich be excited? Because guess what? I know the bulk of my solo ads are going to be seen at least once every 28 days by the people in here. And the people that are in here, guess what? Are buyers, because they're in programs themselves. Then you buy other packages, Amethyst, Emerald, all the way up, and each package will subsequently give you more and more banner ad impressions, more and more solo emails out to the list here, all right, text classifieds, etc., all the way up to the red diamond package. Here's the beauty. Here's the beauty. This is 100% commissionable, okay, the 7 different levels, because you're paying the person directly, okay, that you fall underneath. And it's all based on those type of situations. But we love this because being at the red diamond level myself, I'm getting all of these impressions every month. I'm getting the text ad impressions every month. I'm getting a solo email ad every 2 days, and unlimited permanent text ad in the classified. I'm not so worried about these, but this combo works very, very well. So earlier, say, why can you have the success that you have, Big? Go where the money is. Go where people are willing to spend money on traffic to get more traffic. And they talk about the impressions. So just to give you an idea here, I'll just look at some of my transactions here. And again, these are all paid directly 100% to you, okay? 100% to you. And as Rich said the great thing that we love is PayPal was big in the beginning. Now we're going to Bitcoin and PayPal is no longer being used. So we won't have any issues with the PayPal problems. But that can show you again. And this is all payments to me. 7, 7, 7, 17, 17, 7, 7, 7. These all add up. And as the person moves up, depending on how it falls and who falls, the bottom line is this is a great little, okay, small ticket way to introduce yourself to solo ads and how to write solo emails and things like that. So I'm going to go back out of this, okay? But I wanted to show you that quick to show you some proof there that it does work. And everyone we're introducing this to is absolutely loving it because it's not a big ticket item and they're learning within that 7 and 17, as you see, most of those 7, 17, and 27 gives them the chance to really start to understand this whole safe list and solo email writing, which guess what benefits you because the follow-up, remember that was the what, number 4, right? Follow-up, all right, is important. And the better you get at writing those email follow-ups and making them personal, the more money you're going to make long term because you've started to create a relationship. So there's a method to the madness. Again, OSP, great system. Inside the system, not only can you easily build funnels, but you can also, guess what, get more training on Instagram and Facebook and all those others. But they also talk about paid traffic. And everyone in there that's having success inside OSP, just promoting OSP, have now learned to pay for traffic. Then we go to the actual system itself, which starts with least ad space. As Rich and I said, we cannot believe that this hasn't caught fire yet. We say yet because it will. Once our system rolls out, it will, all right? And the reason being is because this, for very low cost, gets you eyeballs on your offer, but it also teaches you, okay, from other marketers. Because what's beautiful is I love getting those tons of emails. We'll tell you you want to set up a separate email because you get a ton of solo emails, but you start to, guess what, look at what other marketers are writing, and you can not rip off and copy completely, but you can start to understand why marketers write the things that they do in their emails. So again, it's part of that learning. So after least ad space, that's an introduction, low ticket, all right? There goes that number 5 I talked to you about in the beginning. You have, guess what, tiered, stepping up, congruent offers. So $7 gets someone in, teaches them about solo ad safe list. And then we move on to what we think is the cornerstone, beautiful way, and which is how we all cut our teeth on advertising offers and programs, and that is through what's called a traffic exchange. So Rich, I'm going to let you talk about that, and then as many of you may or may not know, I'll share my results, but my results are not to brag or rub anyone's face. It would just show you how powerful this can be once you get it. And so that second offer that we step into, it starts as low as $10, correct, Rich?
Absolutely. So yeah, the traffic exchange world is a misunderstood world to a certain extent. Let me just flick the camera back to me. But that's where it all begun for us. It's where those guys got together. And if you get traffic exchange world right, it's unbelievable because it is the primary. It's the primary source of traffic, and essentially if you're working it right, it becomes free traffic, which is incredible. So we're talking about a business called Future Ad Pro. Now, Future Ad Pro I joined some time ago, but actually, ironically, didn't get started with it until very, very recently. Big got involved with it at pretty much the same time, and he just ran with it straight away. And that's why on this gig, he's going to be showing you his results rather than mine, because I don't have any results to show in this gig just yet. But a traffic exchange is, if you think of it as a kind of a to and a fro, you've got an offer that you want people to see, and you're in an environment where the other people have offers that they want you to see. And so they place their links, as you do yours, inside something called a traffic exchange. And on a daily basis, you have an obligation, in order to get paid, you have an obligation to view a certain number of those offers that other people have. So basically, all you're going to do in Future Ad Pro is you're going to log in on a daily basis and you're going to click on 10 people's websites and you're going to take a look at what it is that they're promoting. In return, they're going to do the same and they're going to look at your offers. And so it's tit for tat. It's you show me yours, I'll show you mine. It's a traffic exchange. The beauty of this traffic exchange is that you're going to earn a share of the revenues that the company makes from the sale of its advertising services. Everybody using this traffic exchange is paying to do so. So whether you're just purchasing the straightforward traffic exchange traffic or some of the other traffic, it costs money. That money makes the company profits, and that profit is shared with active participants, with people who are helping the business to grow. You know, that business would be nothing were it not for people clicking 10 ads each day and having a look. And so you, as someone helping it to grow, deserve a share of the profits. How much money will you earn as a result of that? Well, Big will talk to you about that in a few minutes. But more so than just the revenue share, what you're doing is you're able to promote the traffic services to other people. And like with any of these online gigs, when you're promoting stuff to other people, you're entitled to a commission. And the more you sell or share, the more commission you earn. I corrected myself on sell because, of course, the system's going to do a lot of the selling for you, so you don't have to worry about that too much. But when you're using a traffic exchange, here's the beautiful thing. You've got people who will buy a certain amount of traffic. You can get started for $10, like Big mentioned. So you can buy $10 worth of traffic. But as a result of clicking your ads on a daily basis, you're going to earn a share in the revenues that's going to exceed the $10 that it's cost you, or whatever starting figure you worked with. And so the smart money, the true marketers, the people who are interested in growing their online business, then leverage that. They use those profits to grow, and then they leverage that, and they use those profits to grow, and then they leverage that. And you can see a pattern emerging here until you get to a safe space, a comfortable spot where you're not only generating enough money to be repurchasing traffic within your traffic exchange, you're generating enough money to take money as personal profit for your pocket, of which you're going to split some of that off and you're going to spend it on traffic, utilizing your sales loop, and the rest is pocketed. But to give you an idea of the power of this model, I started my first traffic exchange with zero. As a friend of ours said, a donut, almost a year ago on the first Power Hangout that I was on. And I started for zero, and I took that zero to almost $100,000 in less than a year through smart promotion, through utilizing the traffic effectively, and through working the rev share model in a smart, manageable, effective way. And that's exactly what we're going to show here. This is not about creating a rev share junkie kind of mentality, which is what a lot of people unfortunately have out there when it comes to traffic exchanges. They see it as something that it's not. A traffic exchange is a source of traffic that can pay you very well, not a payment platform that also has traffic.
Yeah. And Rich, you hit it on the, if you'll click my button there, I'm going to share. You hit the nail on the head, because this is not about the revenue at all. A lot of you, when I share my screen here, and I'll show you Future Ad Pro here, and again, the big disclaimer here, earnings and commissions are never guaranteed, never promised. I work my butt off for this, but I work the system, and Rich touched on it. Too many people focus on traffic exchanges just for the revenue share as an income source. Wrong, wrong, wrong. You couldn't be more wrong. The traffic is the biscuits. You guys hear me talk about this in other things. Biscuits. Biscuits are good. That's what you want to focus on. The traffic. The revenue share, if it happens, it's never guaranteed, is the gravy. Meaning that if I get gravy, fantastic, I love it, but I'm focused on the biscuits. And the gravy is just that. It's gravy. So all the revenue share what Rich talked about, it's entirely possible. All right. And one of the things that we're going to talk about in this system on the Boss XL supercharged sales loop system is going from 0 to 6 figures in no time flat. And we're talking about 12 months. And it can certainly be done if you learn how to utilize the system, driving promotion. So here is Future Ad Pro. Here's the dashboard, and I'll show you guys. Currently, I'm maxed out on the $50 ad packs at 1,000, and on the $10 ad packs at 100. I've got an additional nearly $4,000 in my additional advertising account because they take a percentage off of your earnings in order to do this, because they also want you to focus on the fact it's all about advertising. My Future Ad Pro account money that I can take out right now is almost $1,100. Basically, that'll probably be a couple $1,000 next week. That will come out and go into, guess what? Buying more solo ad traffic, driving people back into the different programs I have. And once we have the funnel and marketing system up, it'll go strictly into driving everything into the funnel system. But why do you have a traffic exchange like this? Rich talked about it, because people are paying in order to put their offers in front of people. So if I look at the business side of this, in basically since end of April, 1st of May, as Rich talked about, all right, I'm going to go to commissions. If you look right here, all right,
I need a hammer here, buddy. I need
a 76. You can't see the hammer though when I'm sharing my screen. $76,000 since basically May. And that's all because you have the ability to share this with other people who are looking to get traffic also. That is all this is about. If you go and you look at the advertising, this is what I'm most interested. The reason I have these packs and continue to maintain them is because I continue to get views on my ads. All right. You can also buy additional ad packs starting at $10. You can buy them at $50. You can buy additional ad views. You can view advertising. As Rich talked about, the beauty of this is everyone out there is forced to view 10 ads per day to be qualified on the revenue share if there is any. All right. And what you'll also do is get something of an education here on how people rate these text ads. Okay. Because I don't just go here and click on each one. I'm constantly clicking on the 10, but I'm also wanting to see what other people are doing. So if you see here, okay, all types of offers here, all types of offers. Which one catches my attention? Maybe I just click on this one. Maybe I click on this one. And what comes up is the ad. Now, here's the bad thing on this. Once again, if you're going to advertise, take people through a system. Take people through so you can capture their email information. Let's do another and see if they make the tragic mistake that most people make, which we're going to teach you not to make. And that is once, okay, same thing. If you have a long loading time, this thing is going to get to the end of 10 seconds, all right, for me to watch this 30 seconds. And I'm going to get a credit for watching this ad, and you'll notice something. Guess what? It hasn't even come up yet. And this is not my internet. This is the loading time for this person's system, program, whatever it may be. And I'm not going to have to watch anything here. By the time I get credit, look at that. Boom. It's that easy. Hit the next ad. I've gotten credit. Boom, right there, 1 of 10. I never even watch that ad. You know why? Because the person's loading time. Marketing funnel. Let's check this out. Again, I don't care who's the R. I'm just trying to see same thing. All right, a little quicker here. Beautiful. Love this one. Great. Boom, give me access now. Small emotional buy-in. If I click on that, it's going to get me to fill out a form. This is fantastic. If you're interested, you fill it out. So I'm going to close that out. And this is what this is about, watching ads. But you're also yourself paying for ads, and you're going to create those ads. So let's go and look at, let me manage advertising and look at some of the ads that I've done, okay? And same thing, an ad I put together, I was able to 10 times my sales. What works really well for most people is numbers, okay? Proof, progress, results, 80% commissions, things like that. And you buy ad views, you get those views, and you get clicks on your ads. Okay, roughly about 10% there, a little less than 8 or 9% there, 11% there, et cetera, et cetera. And these, yes, someone's asking the question already, do turn into people that buy the programs or products. All right, let me give you an idea right here. This is for Online Sales Pro right here. All right. And from this, I can track 3 different sales from this based on tracking pixels. So the traffic does work. We're going to show you. Go ahead. Yep.
I've just had a question through on Messenger about the landing pages. Are we going to have anything specifically for Future Ad Pro and Least Ad Space? I know we've already talked about that, so feel free to answer if you want.
Boom. Why not? Yes, absolutely. We're going to have a number, probably in the vicinity of three lead capture pages and videos, okay, bridge videos directly to each of the programs that are in there. So far we've talked about Online Sales Pro, okay? Well, obviously building a system that has Online Sales Pro in it, so that would not be the case. But Least Ad Space, yes, we're going to basically have solo ads that are directed toward the system itself. And Future Ad Pro, we're going to specifically have a bridge funnel or a mini funnel that directs people back to the system inside Future Ad Pro. Absolutely. So good question about that. Absolutely going to be the case. But the reason I shared that was, again, not to focus on the revenue share. It was to focus on the fact that you have an opportunity to get more eyeballs on your offer. And the beauty is the money that you pay for that advertising, you get back. Where else can you advertise your offers and get money back? So what we're saying is the reason you keep that money in the system is you want to keep buying more eyeballs to your offer. Earlier we talked about it. That's what a sales loop system is all about, continuing the traffic flow. So if you're going into this looking for Future Ad Pro or any rev share type of situation to be an income producer for you, you're making the wrong decision. Okay, long-term value of a client. So we go from least ad space, we introduce them at $7 all the way up to the $147. We introduce people to a low-cost ticket offer for Future Ad Pro and the traffic exchange there, and the power of that at $10. You can also go to $50, and it's simply the difference is fewer views for the $10, longer to get the rev share. $50, okay, more views and much quicker revenue sharing. But again, like I said, I don't give a shit about the rev share part. It's the views. It's the views. And the rev share is gravy. That just means that, guess what? I get my money back and then some, I can buy more traffic. And that's why we say this is exactly what we're going to be saying. We are not talking about making millions of dollars with a rev share traffic exchange. We're talking about using it for what it's supposed to be, and that is buying traffic to get eyeballs on your offer and then turning around and seeing what other people are doing. And guess what? Copying some of the things they're doing if they're getting results or you clicked on that because of a certain thing. There's nothing wrong with you doing that as well. Not a complete copy, not a copy and paste, all right? But understanding and starting to train yourself and learn why certain people are having success inside these systems. So that's Future Ad Pro. So we introduce the system itself. The first thing they see, okay, on step 1 is least ad space, which helps them understand traffic and what solo ad or safe list traffic is. We move into Future Ad Pro, and guess what? Yes, we're going to blow them away with, you know, my earnings and my commissions and the possibility of all of that happening, but we're going to show them, guess what? Direct results coming from that traffic. All right, and why it makes sense. And then we're going to talk to you about a strategy where if you don't want to focus on getting the most ad packs, some levels that you want to shoot for that are going to produce enough earnings and commissions for you to turn around and buy additional traffic, because that's the part that most people miss on. And so the third step, all right, what we like to call, go ahead, Rich, what are we going to do with all this money that people are earning in least ad space and Future Ad Pro, my man?
We're gonna drive it towards traffic, buddy.
Traffic, isn't that the number one thing we're talking about?
Yeah, I would have thought it. So yeah, what we've got in mind is an incredible bonus, and we're going to drive people towards a bonus on your behalf, which is going to be all about getting more eyes in front, but different types of eyes. So what you've got, if you bear in mind at the minute, you've got 2 traffic sources. You've got least ad space, which is a safe list. So people who have bought into the system and are receiving your emails and we'll open them because they're incentivized to do so. You've got people in the traffic exchange who are going to be viewing your website on a daily basis, but are also incentivized to do so. When I say incentivized, don't read into that people won't take action. I regularly buy products and services and resources and tools from safe lists and from traffic exchanges, because ultimately I'm trying to grow my business and I still need those things irrespective of where they're advertised. So you will get viewers and you will get results, but they're incentivized results. A solo ad, a proper paid advertising form, that's a higher quality level of traffic. And this premium traffic is really what's going to build your list in a more substantial way. It's really what's going to help you build the relationships in a more realistic way. And it's what's going to help grow your business in a more, dare I say, monumental way. The paid traffic element is something that's very strong, and what we've got is something really special for you guys. So as a part of the Boss XL system, are we naming it? We've let them know.
It's named. Yep, it's named. Yep, go ahead, Rich.
So we're rolling out.
Rich is excited because this has been put together specifically for everyone in our system, and we are not looking at taking a profit off this at all. So go ahead, Rich, talk about this.
Yeah, exactly. And so what we want is, we want you guys, yes, paying for traffic for the reasons we've already discussed, but we want you paying for traffic that's going to actually deliver results, real results. And you guys going off and searching Google for your own traffic sources, you're potentially going to be throwing money away or throwing too much money at it. So we've put together, and we've got a partnership with an incredible company, and what we've done is we've created acceleratetraffic.com. And so that's our own traffic source. That's the traffic source that we're using. It's homebred traffic. It's high quality traffic. It's tier 1, so you're only going to be showing your offers to people in the key sort of states, so UK, USA, Australia. And it's a really exciting bonus that's available just for you guys.
And Rich is excited because, guys, unlike other solo ad providers, this is my own personal business partnership that I have, and the traffic that I drive, and it's built from sources that are not regurgitated and resold over and over solo ad traffic. And we're going to get more into detail next week on the parameters of what this traffic is and how it is actually generated, and you guys will be blown away. The one thing that we went back and forth on was the pricing. And I'll tell you that what I have done in order to really help kickstart all of those people, especially in our first 3 to 6 months, we are delivering this traffic at cost. And what that is going to mean is you guys are going to see premium tier 1 traffic that is unique visitors at prices that will rival the junk traffic out there on Udemy and all these others. And again, we all got our start. I did on Udemy and stuff like that, but learn very quickly that is what's called recycled traffic, and we don't want that. We want people to start to, now again, no traffic really matters unless you have a follow-up and you start to close that gap. So it doesn't matter how premium it is or how virgin or new it is, you still have to close that gap. And that's what we're going to be teaching. And that's part of this system. And that's part of getting people to dial in to the training. So to finish that up with Accelerate Traffic, we're going to then offer one other bonus that we're excited about, because we both have worked behind the scenes on this program. Absolutely think it's fantastic in what they train on, in the package, the way it was put together. But unlike a lot of other gurus and big leaders out there who were, pushing the crap out of it just for those big commissions, big $1,000 commissions, Rich and I both waited, because I waited especially, even though I have a number of people that joined and worked with me on it, because I wanted to not be in a position like so many others, where programs, because they're so popular so fast, crash and burn. And unfortunately, this program had that happen with merchant issues and PayPal issues and all those things. Didn't change how fantastic this program was in the background as far as what they're offering, the training and all. But they were going through a kind of a Jekyll and Hyde, trying to figure out exactly, are they a low cost, high upsell offer? Are they a high ticket offer right off the bat? Do they split 3 different ways and pay 3 different ways? And it diluted how great the training and the program itself is. And they finally have all that figured out. And we're very happy to include this as another bonus. And there's a reason, and Rich will talk about that, why it's a bonus and what we like to call, what are we calling the multiplier here on this, Rich?
The multiplier is the income accelerator. So we've got the traffic multiplier, which is accelerate, and then we've got the income accelerator, which is Exodus Elite. And so I'll flick back over to me first.
So now while Rich is doing that, okay, understand that this is a back-end introduction to the highest ticket part of this system, but the buy-in starts at only $99. So follow us on this again. You've got a $7 intro. You've got a $10 upsell to a $50 on Future Ad Pro. $7 being least ad space, $10.50 being Future Ad Pro. You're introduced to Online Sales Pro as the system at $37 a month.
So at that point, you have everything that you need, and at that point, that's it, essentially.
Yeah, you don't need to spend anything else, right? But we introduce the traffic multiplier, okay? Traffic multiplier, which is the accelerate traffic. And then we leave people with the one last ability to have them, while you have someone going through this system, the introduction to, guess what? Additional training about what, Rich?
Who'd have thought it, buddy? Who'd have thought it?
I don't know.
About traffic, my man. Yeah, Exodus Elite is, it really is an incredible product range. And teething troubles aside and sorting out their own infrastructure, none of that steps away from what they've got going on. And so when you piece all of this stuff together, and then you add into the mix all of this additional knowledge and levels of exposure that you're getting. And I don't just mean exposure of eyes to your offer. I mean exposure of information for yourself. It's really upscaling your opportunity. Yes, there are big ticket commissions available. And yes, you can make a lot of money. And Big and I took our foot off the gas with it because of the teething troubles and whatnot, but still made significant money. And what we want to do is provide you guys with, if you're already in it, with a product-based, training-based, solution-based way to get people involved, rather than just trying to hit people up with, come and join this because the commissions are great, which is unfortunately what's been going on quite a lot. So we want to be all about the product because the product is awesome for you guys who are already in it. For the guys who are not already in it, what we want to do is provide a really easy step-by-step and using the word of the week, congruent way of getting involved in higher ticket affiliate sales. Because ultimately, when you come to this online world, and this is not taking anything away from least ad space at the front end, because you are going to make significant money with that if you roll it out properly and if you follow this whole process. But very few of you will have come to work online because you want to earn $7 commissions, irrespective of how many. You're here because you want to see big money. And big money can come from a $7 gig when you work it right, and we're going to show you how to do that. But getting paid $1,000 at a time, it may seem a long way away, but ultimately that's what a lot of people are here for. But there's a process to follow, and these things don't happen overnight, and they've got to be supported by training, by traffic, by systems, by follow-up. And the follow-up is massive, because even with the accelerate traffic, which is great traffic, you're not going to get results immediately. Our sales videos are going to be phenomenal, and I'm not just saying that because it's us and we've got to big ourselves up a little bit. But our sales videos are going to be great. But human psychology is what it is. And with the best will in the world, the average person takes 7 exposures before they make a buying decision. They're going to see some awesome stuff first time out, but it's still only first time out. So follow-up is going to need to be done time and time and time again. And the training in Exodus Elite is going to train you how to enhance and improve your follow-up. Meanwhile, you're utilizing our follow-up. So it's allowing you a bit of room to grow using our gig whilst you learn your own. And guys, it's going to be so powerful for you. It really is.
Rich, you touched on probably the most important thing. Those that move on to the next level of success learn to basically sell without selling, because in fact you're making connection and you're selling yourself. So it's never going to matter about the program. When all of those things click, okay, the most important thing in anything is traffic. All right. Secondary to that, okay, it's not the program, it's being able to make the connection. So once you have enough eyeballs on your offer and you're able to learn how to make the connection on the back end, you're going to be able to sell anything, because you're not selling the program, you're selling the connection with you. So one of the things that we're going to do, all right, in this, and Rich touched on it, is understand it's all about the training. All of those programs have great training. Exodus, it's included in there because it has a lot of mindset training, but the truth is there is a boatload, a shitload of traffic training and all like that right up front in the basic level that people pay that $99 to get started with. And that's the hook that you want. But on the back end, what we're going to continue to teach you, at least my contribution to this, is what they call the psychology of selling, which is not really selling at all. Okay, it's nothing more than learning to make that connection and having a pre-existing filter inside that system of selling that's not really selling. And that's all high level stuff, and that's stuff that I work with people separately. They pay thousands and all. We're going to basically touch on that, but that's only going to be available to those people that partner at those higher levels, because we want you to be able to, guess what, get some of that back. Okay, and that's why we think Exodus is so powerful on the back end. But it's not only about the $1,000 commission. It's about you learning that there's a system. There's the reason why a system like Exodus was put together the way it was. Then you'll start to educate yourself and learn why the system that Rich, myself, and Jaggs put together was put together the way it was. And it's not just to cobble everything together. So to bring this back to what Rich talked about at the very beginning of the hour and a half, all right, this is not only about the orphans, okay, it's about having you understand that there is a reason that a system is put together, and it is not just a $7 commission. It's not even just a $1,000 commission. It's everything in between. And once you start to grasp that, then you yourself, and this is really what we're hoping, can go off, and now that you have the tool, Online Sales Pro, all right, you can start to create these mini, okay, psychology of sales systems yourself for programs that you feel strongly about. Because in the end, people buy you, they don't buy the program. But if they see the passion you have, and all of you who have seen this leading up to this know the reason that we're doing the videos, and the reason that we're doing the graphics, and the reason we're doing the announcements, and all those is because we truly feel that the way this system is put together will work for anyone that's willing to work the system. But it still comes down to that one thing, traffic. And if you're not willing to buy in, okay, and understand that you're putting money back into your business, every dollar, I feel, for the first 6 to 9 months from that you get from a program should be put back into that system, then you'll really start to see things take off, like Rich talked about. In the beginning, slow going, but that's how it works. Okay, because the system starts to, guess what, feed on itself. That loop we talk about, all right? But where is this going to be different than others? And we're going to spend the next 10 minutes focused on this, and then we will definitely, boom, let you guys get to bed.
Just before you do, buddy, just before you do, I just want to kind of tie in with what you just said and point out what's going on with Jaggsy, because some of the guys might have noticed that he's gone very quiet and he's sat there with a headset on. Jaggsy is dialing in from work, so he's actually being a bit of a bad boy at the minute, and I think he's trying to get some work done while he's still dialed in. But Jaggs is in a situation where he's done great things in the past, and obviously worked with me on Boss X and the first traffic exchange and blah blah blah, and he's had some great results. But in these gigs, he's pretty much brand new to all of them. So what Jaggs is doing is he's coming to this with a clean slate. And so I think it's really good. I didn't expect him actually to be literally sat doing work on the gig.
Actually, I can actually chip in. Actually, the main reason I moved is because I was actually about to lose charge on my iPad. So what it was, I decided to move to get myself some charge, and obviously I don't need my colleagues to hear everything that's going on. So I basically stuck the headphones on. So I'm actually still fully involved.
Yeah, brilliant.
I'm getting myself a Mayhammer.
So a point I was making with it is just picking up on what Big was saying is Jaggs is a prime example, is somebody who's starting at ground zero in these gigs, and he's going to be throwing everything back into it to build and build and build. And what you're going to be able to see over the course of the next however long is that journey of an individual doing it. So this is not just about you guys doing it. There's somebody on this. Well, we're all on the same journey at the end of the day, but it's great that you've got somebody starting at grassroots, you've got Muse kind of intermediate, and you've got Big who's already way ahead, especially in Future Ad Pro. So yeah, back to you.
Yeah, Rich, and what's great about the different levels is even someone's doing very well, like myself, without continuing that traffic loop, would quickly fall down to nothing. And this is what we're trying to teach. So what we're going to do is, as we said, this is the very first Pitline Power Hour. In the future, starting next week, they will be definitely an hour. All right. And they will follow a specific format that has worked well always in every program and system that we put together. And that is, it will be a 1 hour program. It will be an introduction of the system. It will be proof progress results in our back office of the current parts of the system. It will be bringing out a couple of people who are in the system also to talk about their experience, how they got started. And then there'll be a strong call to action. At no point on the Power Hour will there be any personal links or anything like that. So you're going to be able to bring and invite and write out to your email list to get them on the Power Hour. So it will be essentially, I always like to call it a 1 hour infomercial. And yes, each and every week I will bring the excitement and the fun and all that type of stuff, because that works for people. People want, again, to be part of a group that has energy. All right. And some of you are parts of other groups that lost energy. I happen to be part of those also. And unless all the people who are working on the system have that same type of energy, they kind of fall to the side. So that Power Hour is going to be for a reason. It's going to be to help you keep up the excitement, not only for yourself, but also for new people that you're introducing. Besides that, we're also going to have two weekly trainings. And so one of the things I absolutely loved about what Rich and Jaggsy did on some of their other stuff is that side of it. All right, we're going to have 2 weekly trainings at 2 different times so that those in the US as well as the UK and other parts can catch those trainings live, because they are going to be interactive trainings. We're going to be asking people to come out, share not only questions and give answers, but also share maybe some of the things they're working on, you know, the email structures, the solo ads, things like that, in order to give positive feedback on the call right then. We'll show you and share what we're doing as well, but the best way that I've seen in a lot of my private coaching is if a group of people get together and they share, much like an art review or anything like that. Here's my work, tear it apart, put it back together. And for that, they're better for that. So be on the lookout for the announcement of those 2 different basically dates and times. So if you can't catch one, you can catch the other. And they will be on a closed circuit system like a Zoom, whereby you basically get on. They're not going to be shared on a regular basis. And there's a reason behind that, because people, again, don't take action a lot of times on replays as opposed to being live, which is why we're doing double the amount of work because we feel strongly, but it's going to be so that most of you can catch basically those trainings. So there'll be, I don't know, I'm just saying, maybe a Tuesday at 10 a.m. and then 4 a.m. and then maybe a Sunday right before we do the power hour, whatever. We'll decide on those, but there'll be 2 days, 2 different times, and the bottom line is not recorded because we're going to basically let everything hang out on those trainings. There'll be true trainings and feedback. At least that's what we talked about, Dean and Rich. I don't mean to put you on the spot, but maybe you guys can elaborate a little bit more on that because I know you guys had a lot of success doing that as well.
Yeah, no problem, buddy. I'm a massive believer in training being training. Yeah, YouTube training works and gets you as an individual exposure, but we've made a point that this is not going to be about us. This is going to be about them. And so having training that is real time, one time, and so I think that's massively powerful for people. It gives the people a reason to be there. Stuff being recorded always allows that kind of, I'll not say excuse, but I mean excuse.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah.
Yep. I mean, it's as you said earlier, because like when you've got certain people that are not following the system, if you have it as a recorded training as well, there's also that they may just watch it and dispose of it and not do anything with it. Therefore, we might as well spend our time where it's most deserved, where those people that are going to tune in, those people that are going to watch the training, because they're the ones who are going to get the real value from it. So that's also another reason to not have it recorded as well. So
yeah, and again, there'll be the opportunity, like I said, 2 different days, 2 different times on those days. And so we'll have up to 50 people on each call. But our reasoning comes from experience. We know that those people that are dialed in, that work with us more on a group level, tend to, guess what, follow through because they get immediate feedback. Those that, watch recordings feel good about it, but hardly ever fall through. Now, that may not be you. We may not be pointing you out if you're watching this, but we've seen it enough times that we know that the path that we're taking. That doesn't mean that we're not going to put updates and feedback and do screenshots of things that we talked about or emails that we corrected for people or things like that inside the group. Absolutely not. But when we're talking about spending our time one-on-one with people or 1-on-10 or 1-on-20, we really want those people to be dialed in on that. So there's a different format. We talked about that in the beginning. Rich talked about it. All right. The system itself is going to be powerful, but where you're going to see those basically high RPM results are going to be actually dialing in and physically doing what needs to be done. And I've seen it from my own experience. Rich has also, that those people that you have check in with you on a weekly basis and show you their results and what they're doing and all like that, always have better results, because what we want to have is an accountability system. And so we'll be implementing accountability partnerships also in the system. And we will basically be, assigning those partners and the things that they need to do. We'll have a 30-day system of action, and you and your partner will be accountable to each other, and then you'll be accountable to the group. And the reason I know this works is because at the highest level coaching programs that I pay for, okay, not only am I paying a shitload of money, but I'm also having to do the work, and guess what? Turn in the work and get graded on it, and I'm doing all the work. But there's a reason that you have success in a situation like that. Because 1, you've paid for it. 2, when you have someone that you're accountable to, okay, besides just yourself, you actually work harder because you want to impress that person. There's no one that likes getting pats on the back and kudos more than me and Rich and Jaggsy. And it's no different with any of you out there. But not only, because again, studies have been proven that money is not the biggest motivator for people out there, especially entrepreneurs. All right. Now, it's nice. Money is a tool, but it's certainly not the biggest motivator. The biggest motivator is recognition among peers. Why do you think you go in and join Facebook groups and all like that and put up and post your progress about why you got this sale or that sale? And why some of you out there get pissed off when someone like myself or whatever don't click the like button and make a little comment. You know, hey, I saw you looked at it, but you didn't comment.
Yeah.
It's because we want that recognition. We're only human. And so
There's
we're going to have plenty of that. We're going to have plenty of that. Go ahead, Rich.
There's an old saying, buddy, babies cry for it, soldiers die for it. And never a truer word being spoke, you know?
Absolutely. So we are going to more than give recognition. There's all kinds of things that Rich and Jaggs and I have talked about. There'll be monetary, contests and things like that. But more so than that, we're really trying to figure out ways to have people do these contests and stuff like that are going to get them something that is much, much more helpful to them in their journey. So, things like tickets to, things like the GoPro event, all those things we're throwing out there, which I think are much more of an incentive than simply handing you $250. But those are all the things that we're throwing out, because our biggest thing is the system will work by itself. But if you're going to rev up, or 20 times, the ability, that ability has to come from you. And I think a large part of that will come from the training on the back end. And that's why we know we'll have less attrition and have many, many more success stories, because we are looking, and you guys have seen me do it, and working with Rich and all, is I really get joy from helping 3, 4, 5 people step to the next level completely, and be excited about creating their own systems and all like this. Okay, so that they can help 5 or 6 people do the same thing. And when you have that type of feedback and success, the money part will always come. The money part will always come.
Absolutely.
Always. So on that note, we have spent the last power hour times 2 with all of you, and it's simply because there was so much to cover to give you guys an update and a background and all. And what I thought I would do is finish on that, but I want Rich and Jaggsy to kind of close this up for all of you, and let you know that be on the lookout. Tomorrow we'll put an update in the group about the dates and times for those trainings and all of that. And we may even tease you with a couple of copies of what we shared tonight in the lead capture pages and a couple of things. We may even tease you with, little bits and pieces of the sales video and stuff like that. Who knows? Depends on how generous we're feeling, right, Rich?
Absolutely, absolutely. Cheers for hosting, buddy. It's been great. I hope people have got a lot of value from it. For those guys who worked with us on previous projects, both ours, yours, they know what these things do. The fact that we've switched about what's in it, that's neither here nor there. But the value of the training that goes behind it and taking it back to traffic, it's just going to be flawless for people as long as they stick to the process. So I'm excited to be using this for myself, let alone anything else. And I think that's the key point. When it's what we're doing through and through, then yeah, that speaks volumes.
Yeah. And one of the things that you'll notice is it is going to be a prerequisite that you have a beard to be part of the system here.
Yeah,
and,
that's why I quickly moved the camera off of Jaggsy.
I'm working on it.
He's working on it. Yeah, Jaggsy, any last words, my man?
Yeah, awesome, man. I mean, obviously, we all appreciate you coming out on a Sunday evening. That alone shows that you obviously got some sort of ambition to want to progress, because obviously nobody just gives up their time like that. So we really do truly appreciate that. And for all of us now, the hard work really starts, because we want to make sure that by Christmas, you got something really decent to unwrap. It's going to get real festive around here real fast. so
Good man.
So from my part, all I say is, guys, for those of you that are in the systems already, then start getting excited and start getting in position to sort of do what you need to do. Those who are not in the systems already, hook up whoever brought you to the video and start making that happen, because Christmas Day, you want to be ready to go. We're going to go big and we're going to go fast. So strap yourselves in, buckle up. It's going to get messy.
Cheers, buddy.
Cheers, man.
Absolutely. So again, we want to thank everyone for joining us on the call today. In the future, like I said, much more succinct, much more focused as far as these calls go. Next week, we'll be sharing a lot more of the of the inside to not only the pages and things like that, but it will start to be a much more focused sales-oriented call, because that's what they are going to be, to try to reach as many people as possible. So if you haven't joined any of the programs yet, Least Ad Space, Future Ad Pro, Online Sales Pro, Exodus Elite, please get back to the person that introduced you to this. Or if you're watching it on replay, someone shared it with you, get back to them and let them work with you on getting in those programs. If you're going to be like most people, which I advise that you don't wait around until the funnel's actually done. Go ahead and start to get involved in some of these programs so that you can start to learn on them, so that when you connect with someone that comes through your funnel, you're going to be able to explain, guess what, how Online Sales Pro works, how Future Ad Pro works, how Least Ad Space works. And the person that has some understanding outside of that and makes that connection is going to have a better chance at an upsell, as opposed to someone that is just hands off completely. And the reason I say that is not because I'm interested in the upsell or anything like that. I'm just telling you from experience. You can get started with the programs inside this system for $7, $10, and $37. And for that, for basically less than 50 bucks, okay, you're going to have a complete powerful system. And at the very least, it's going to allow you to start to tell people about these programs in the auspices of this entire system. Again, we haven't been shy about saying what's in the system. Most people, when they put a marketing system out there, don't let you know what's in the system because they want you to upsell. Okay? They vaguely promise you 10 times return, 20, blah, 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 but they don't tell you what's in the system. And then when you get on the back end, sometimes you're disappointed because you're like, man, I spent $197 for that. What we're telling you is that you can get started for less than $50 on the programs now. And we guarantee you, yes, that word guarantee you, that when you see the entire system put together, you're going to say that's the best $50 I ever spent. And that's a big promise for you. So on that note, my man Jaggsy, my man Rich, and we will see all of you on the next Power Hour. If you haven't done so, make sure you join the Facebook group. It is the Boss XL Supercharged Sales Loop System. Facebook, search it, you'll find it. And we will see you on the next update call and or the next Pit Lane Power Hour show. Take care, everyone.
So, have a good night, guys.
Take care, guys.
Cheers, buddy.